Okay, so this is media evaluation question 2. I'll be talking about audience feedback in the editing. So in the first draft, a big thing that was stressed to us was about the length of the intro. It was about a minute long, which was way too long, and it was just a small part of the introduction of the music that was just looping, and people found this extremely boring. Moving on from that, we decided that we would work out ways to cut it down through the shortening of clips and using split screen to be able to just shorten the whole thing down. Another thing that was told to us from an audience was the use of fade to black transitions. They were used quite a lot in the first few drafts, and said that they felt that it didn't fit the genre very well because they were quite dark as it was just fading to black. So we used the swipe transition, which allowed us to move from scene to scene in a quite a flowing manner, and it flowed with the tempo of the song and it felt quite upbeat and gave off a positive vibe. The other things that our audience told us were things like color correction was just it wasn't really used in the first few drafts, and in the final two drafts we started to use color correction where some of our shots were slightly different, and it meant that the lighting was slightly changed, and using color correction it allowed us to sort of match the contrasting of the two clips, so when they were split screened or cross cut it meant that they looked very similar and it made it look much more professional. Another thing that our audience mentioned to us in terms of editing was at the very start of the video with the Tinder swiping scenes. At first it was clear that the two actors had matched with each other on Tinder, but later in the drafts it had become less clear and it was also not very well polished. This was because we used a recording of a phone which we had recorded at a later date after recording the scenes that we used in the video. So this meant things like hand movements and the smiles, the swiping to match were not all directly linked together and they weren't in sync. So we used editing to link those together, and our audience gave us feedback saying that it was much better in the last couple drafts, and that made quite a big impact as it made it look a lot more professional, such as when the pictures of the two actors come up on screen, you couldn't see the phone moving in the background, which looks very unprofessional to show, even though it shows a still picture in front. Another part of the editing that was added in a later date was the text bubbles. So in the texting scenes it was extremely unclear that the two actors were actually texting each other, or you could kind of get a feel that they were texting to each other, but you didn't know what they were saying or anything like that. So the text bubbles added a new sort of extension to the narrative and really engaged the audience by showing them exactly what the two actors were saying. This was also backed up in later scenes by shots of the phones with the actors texting. In the getting ready scenes we were told that they were very long and that overall our shots were extremely long. So over the course of the drafts we slowly managed to cut up our shots into more appropriate lengths. This meant that the music video flowed much better and it fit the genre, as with the pop genre most music videos have quite fast-paced cutting, so we were meeting the conventions there, which was good, as we wanted to try and meet as many conventions of the pop genre as we could.